Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Natasha and I am a data scientist. In this video, I am going to be giving you a roadmap to learn data science with the help of ChatGPT. But before we get into this roadmap, let me give you a bit of a background of my own data science journey. So around 5 years ago, I was pursuing a computer science undergraduate degree in university, and despite doing computer science, I still had no idea how to code. I wasn't able to apply any of the theoretical concepts that I was learning to create actual data science or machine learning models. And I took countless online courses, data science boot camps. I still felt like there was this barrier that I simply couldn't break through. And every time I took a new online course, I created a data science project, and in the process I'd realized that there was another concept that I didn't understand. I'd go back and take another 10 online courses. And I was stuck in this endless cycle of taking online course after online course but not actually learning anything. This is called the tutorial trap or the tutorial hell, and I was stuck in it for over 2 years until I realized that, hey, enough is enough. I need to get a job in the field. So I went out and I spoke to other data science professionals, people who were working in data science and in programming. I asked them how they managed to get jobs in the field. I used all of the knowledge that they gave me, I consolidated it, created my own data science roadmap. This data science roadmap was what I used to land my very first job in the field. In just 6 months of using this data science roadmap, I got my first data science internship that then turned into a full-time role. I'm currently in my third data science role. In this video, I will be giving you a reimagined version of the data science roadmap that I use to teach myself the subject. And this version will show you how you can use ChatGPT to learn data science. Because honestly, ChatGPT is a game changer for learning any new skill. And I wish ChatGPT was around when I started learning data science because it would have saved me so much time. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into this roadmap. Okay, so the first step to becoming a data scientist is you've got to learn to code. Pick one programming language and start. And I know a lot of people are going to tell you, hey, ChatGPT and generative AI models can write code now, so you don't need to learn programming. Don't listen to them. You still need to know how to code if you want to become a data scientist. You still need to read code that's generated by AI. You've got to debug it. You've got to validate it. There's no way you can present numbers or an analysis from a machine learning model to a stakeholder without understanding what that code means, because it's your job that's on the line. There's a reason technical interviews still expect you to know programming. So please learn how to code and start with either Python or R. So now that I've hopefully convinced you that you still absolutely need to know how to code to become a data scientist, I'd suggest starting out with Python. Python is easy to use, it's versatile, it's widely used by many companies. And to learn Python, you can take one of these two courses. So I'd suggest taking Introduction to Python. It's a course by 365 Data Science. It will teach you the fundamentals of Python programming. It covers methods, functions, data types. If you'd like a free alternative, you can also take Free Code Camp's Python for Beginners course. This is a 4-hour-long introductory Python tutorial that covers a lot of the same topics that the Introduction to Python course covers. So take one of these two courses if you want to learn how to code in Python. So now that you've taken an introductory Python programming course, you know the fundamentals of the language, please don't go ahead and take yet another Python programming course. This is the tutorial trap and you don't want to fall into it. One course is enough. It's now time to practice your Python programming skills and apply what you've learned. And this is where ChatGPT comes in. So to practice your Python programming skills, simply go to ChatGPT and ask it to give you Python programming practice questions that are at a beginner or intermediate level. So here's an example of a prompt that you can type into ChatGPT. Hey, I've just completed an entry-level programming course and I want to put my Python coding skills to practice. Can you give me some programming challenge questions at a beginner to intermediate level? Now, here's ChatGPT's response to a prompt like this. And you might get a slightly different response to this, but the type of questions that ChatGPT is going to give you are mostly going to be the same. So for the sake of this video, I am going to try to solve the FizzBuzz challenge question that ChatGPT has given to us. But before that, let's ask ChatGPT to explain this problem to us in greater detail so that we can go ahead and build it out. So I'm going to say, can you explain the requirements of the FizzBuzz question and provide me with a sample input and output? So I'm asking ChatGPT to break this problem down for us and give us a sample of what it wants the output to look like. Okay, so ChatGPT is saying that if we were to enter numbers that are a multiple of 3, like 3, 9, and 12, then the program that we built should print fizz. For multiples of 5, it should print buzz. For multiples of both 3 and 5, like 15, it should print fizz buzz. So this looks like a fairly simple Python programming problem. We just need to write a few if statements to solve this. So I've actually come up with some code to solve FizzBuzz, and I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me feedback on my code. So I'm going to say, here's my code to solve FizzBuzz. Is this accurate? And if not, can you guide me in getting the correct answer? Okay, so ChatGPT is saying that while my code is on the right track, it will only work for individual numbers when the initial requirement asked us to iterate from 1 to 100. So clearly I've made a mistake. It's also saying that my nested if statements could be simplified for better readability. And it's also rewritten my code to reflect all of these changes. This is like having your very own personal programming mentor. When I first started learning how to code, I would go on Python practice sites like HackerRank and LeetCode, and I never really had anyone to give me feedback, right? So I'd go on Stack Overflow if I was stuck, or I'd look at other people's responses. Sometimes I'd message my friends and ask them for help with my code. But with ChatGPT, you can get feedback that is tailored to your use case. So I'd recommend spending about 3 to 4 hours every day getting these practice questions from ChatGPT. Ask it for hints if you need, ask it for feedback on your code. This way you can iteratively improve. And do this for about a month, and your programming skills will be strong enough to move on to the next step. Now that you know how to code, I'd recommend learning data science and machine learning. And to get started with data science, I'd suggest you take an online course. The course I'd recommend is called Python for Data Science and Machine Learning Bootcamp. It's on Udemy by Jose Portilla, and this is the first ever data science online course that I've taken myself. I'll link it in the description below, and since it's on Udemy, I suggest waiting for one of their promotions. They run discounts every few weeks, and you can get the course for as low as $9 or $10. Now, while taking this course, I'd suggest using ChatGPT to practice your data science skills. So every time you learn a new chapter or a new concept, go to ChatGPT and ask it to give you practice questions on that concept. So let's say you learn about the k-means clustering algorithm. Go to ChatGPT and ask it to test your knowledge on that model. This way you become a better data scientist and you get to iteratively improve as you learn new chapters. You can also use the Code Interpreter plugin to supplement your data science learning. If you haven't already heard about Code Interpreter, this is a new ChatGPT plugin that lets you run code, build machine learning models, and analyze data within the ChatGPT interface. So now I'm going to show you how you can use the ChatGPT Code Interpreter plugin to become better at learning data science. So let's say you take the online course that I've recommended, and in it you learn about the Pandas library. Pandas is a data manipulation library. It's even used to analyze data and create visualizations. It's a Python library, and I use it myself at work every day. So I'm going to go to Code Interpreter now, and I'm going to say, can you generate a data set for me to practice my Python programming skills? I've just learned about the Pandas library in an online course, and I would like some challenge questions to put my data manipulation skills to test. And here's ChatGPT's response to my prompt. It's generated a data set and some challenge questions to help us practice the Pandas data manipulation skills. Now, if you ever find yourself getting stuck, or if in the process of analyzing or manipulating this data set you aren't getting your desired result, you can always go back to ChatGPT and ask it for guidance. And if you feel like the questions that it's asking you are too easy, you can always specify your desired level of difficulty. This way, you aren't just consuming information from an online course like everybody else. You're going a step further and you're using ChatGPT to put everything that you've learned into practice. And this will help you become a better data scientist than other students who are just taking the course and not really practicing their skills and not improving. Now, once you've completed these online courses, you're familiar with data science concepts, you know how to code, it's time to put everything that you've learned into practice. And you can do this by building data science projects. Now, start simple. Go to Kaggle, download the Titanic survival prediction dataset, the Boston house pricing dataset, and use these datasets. Analyze them, build machine learning models on them. And if you ever find yourself hitting a roadblock or getting stuck, copy-paste your code into ChatGPT and ask it to steer you in the right direction. So this way you'll learn and you'll become better at data science and programming. Now, if you finally manage to build a machine learning model on these datasets, ask ChatGPT for tips on how you can improve its accuracy. So let's say you build a model on the Titanic survival prediction dataset and you're at an accuracy of 75%. Ask ChatGPT how you can improve this to 80% or 85%. And in this process, you will learn about new data pre-processing and hyperparameter tuning techniques that were not taught in online courses. And this will help you go a step above other data scientists because you're learning things that are not being taught to them in other online courses. Keep in mind that you should use ChatGPT as a guide. Don't simply copy-paste ChatGPT generated code because then you don't end up learning, right? That defeats the purpose. So use ChatGPT as a guide in these data science projects. Use it to help you become a better data scientist. Now, before I end this video, I want to emphasize how important it is for you to create data science projects. Not just to learn, but to get a job in the field. I landed my first data science internship solely because of the data science projects that I'd created. So my employer saw about 3 to 4 portfolio projects that I'd built, and he hired me solely based on these projects. He didn't know that I was pursuing a computer science degree, and he didn't care. These projects were enough for him to want to hire me. So I'd recommend building a data science portfolio website, creating a GitHub repository, and building at least 3 data science projects that you can showcase on the repository and on your website. I will also be releasing a video in the next few weeks talking about what kind of data science projects you should build to land a job in the field. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it and do subscribe to my channel. I will be posting more data science and AI tips and tutorials in the next few weeks.